Welcome to Module 4, Connecting Criminological Theory with Enterprise Security. Let's get started. What are the learning objectives for this session? Link criminological ideas to real security measures, connect theories to control, understand how defenses shift offender decisions, map enterprise frameworks onto attacker actions, build a habit of reasoning about the why behind the defense. From the theory to practice, tools without strategy leave predictable gaps. Teach alone won't stop the crime. Security changes the offender's cost benefit math. Controls shape the decisions. If you have more security, then in the cost benefit math for the offender, it is very costly for them to go and make a cyber crime or make a cyber attack. Theory tells us that which controls will actually deter. Criminological theory explains why. Deliberate defense beats scattered tooling, designed with intent in order to protect. Routine activity theory that we just learned in the module 3. Here we see how we can protect from the routine activity theory. Assume capable adversaries are always present. Reduce how valuable and reachable asset appears. Controls and monitors supplying the missing guardians. Capable guardians means capable securities. Every control raises the guardianship in the equation for the offender when they are making this kind of cost benefit analysis in routine activity theory. So, just to summarize, motivated offender, suitable target, capable guardian, and secure adds the guardianship. So, if you do this kind of security adjustments, this routine activity theory kind of attack, you can reduce the impact or you give less leverage for them to come and attack the cyber infrastructure that you have if the cyber criminal or the offender is following this routine activity theory. Rational choice theory, right? How are we going to protect if a offender falls under this pattern of this theory? Just increase the effort, make the attacks slower and harder to pull off, ensure attackers expect to be seen, increase the detection system, limit what a successful breach actually yields to. Assume that a successful cyber attack, they expect something that they are going to get. If you can limit what they can actually get and reduce the rewards that are going to be helpful and make these kind of attacks really not effective for the organization, you can protect it. Remove excuses. Clear policy denies offenders' justification. So make sure that your security policies and controls are tightened and revised very frequently. Crime script analysis. Lay out the offense as a sequence of steps, break the chain as its weakest link, and place the defense where they disturb the most. Situation crime prevention. Strengthen the assets attackers want most, harden the targets, reduce the opportunities, close the openings that invite attack, increase the surveillance, watch the paths the defender just travel, limit offender success, cap the damage even when the attempts get through. Zero trust through criminology. So assume no user or defense is inherently safe. Recheck identity and context at every step. Contain intruders to a small blast radius. Verification becomes an ever present guardian. So don't give a blanket access, give a layered access. In the real example, Google's Beyond Corp pioneered enterprise zero trust after their 2009 operational Aurora attacks. NIST Cybersecurity Framework. First, govern it, set the strategy, roles, and accountability. Then, identify, know your assets. What are the assets that are risks and dependency for each asset? Classify the risks and what are the dependencies. And protect, put safeguards into the place to limit the impact. detect, spot events quickly as they occur, respond, act to contain and manage incidents, recover, restore operations, and learn from events. Since 2014, the release of NIST CSF has become a baseline across the US critical infrastructure. This is also an interesting model advisory behavior, a shared map of real attacker tactics, the goal and the methods used to reach them, tune defenses to move attackers make, recognize where in the playbook an attacker is. So this is MITRE attack, MITRE attack. Threat reports now routinely cites attacker IDs such as T1566 for phishing. Defense in depth, multiple layers, stacked controls so one failure is not fatal. Defense across three domains: technical domains, administration domains, and physical domains. Redundancy keeps a breach from cascading, no single point of failure. Each layer buys defenders time to respond, slow the attacker. IAM, identity and access management, grant only the access each role truly needs, require multi-factor authentication. Access, not the network edge, is the real boundary. Keep entitlements current as roles change. Microsoft reports that MFA, multi-factor authentication, blocks around 99% of unauthorized account compromises. So there is a very good best practice in identity and access management called RBAC, role-based access management. So in order to grant access to any resource, first define the role, then grant the access to that role and add the people to that role. If a person changes from one role to another role, remove that person from that role so that their corresponding access also will be removed so that the asset will be secured. Incident response: prepare, have a plan, tools, and roles ready in advance. Detect, recognize that an incident is underway. Contain, stop the spread and limit the damage. Eradicate, remove the threat from the environment. Recover, return the systems to safe operations. Lessons learned, improve the defenses from every incident. In the James Bond movies, we see that when a system is hacked, immediately in one of the movies, they will just pull out the internet access or the wire so that the attack will be contained in that laptop. It will not spread. So that is one of the ways to contain the spread of the attack. Case study: trace a real incident end to end, read it through RAT, NIST, CSF, and MITRE attacks, identify the controls that would break the chain. What are the key takeaways? Security works by reshaping offender decisions. Criminology gives defense its direction. Behavioral thinking sharpens every framework. Module 5, the next module, amplifies this to money and fraud. Thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to see you in module 5. Thanks.